All right, so guys, how we gonna get this money from these people, man? Like seriously, like how do we get it from them? Because like people ask me this, because it's like they're happy to find out that that's where we get it from. And honestly, when I heard that, I heard that from one of my mentors, multimillionaire, right? So the dude was telling me that you get money from people. That's where you get it from. So okay, so how you get it from them? Are they just gonna give it to you because they like you? No. Are they gonna give it to you because you have a nice smile? No, they're not gonna give it to you. They're not gonna give it to you. So how are gonna we pry the money out of these people's hands? Because you can't do that either, right? You can't be forceful. That doesn't work either. So when you study. Remember that's what we said, right? Study like crazy. Just study. Just read. But the other thing is that some people they just read and study and that's all they do. They're too analytical. They don't do. You gotta go out and do too. You gotta do, right? So let me tell you what we're gonna do. We're going to help people. Listen to me. Hear me out. Hear what I'm saying. AJ Phinn speaking. QLP. It's takeover. Listen. Hear me out. We're going to help people. You can hold a door for someone and help them. Yeah, that's not a business necessarily. You got some homeless people that do it. Guess what? They make a business out of it. A small business. It's a start, right? Anyways, we're going to help people. So we can provide a service. We can provide a product. We can come up with something, okay? I know, sometimes people feel like, okay, I'm not an inventor. Yeah, I know. So the product is an interesting one. I like the product one a lot because there's a lot of money in there. So you find a new invention and you show it. You go on Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, or you talk to someone, ask them for investment, go to the bank, get a loan, whatever you need to do, and invent it. Turn it into an actual, what do they call it, a prototype. Go from the prototype and then go from there, right? And we can tell you if you want to learn more, we can kind of QLP. That's what QLP does. QLP talks about, okay, how are you gonna take the product to market and all that stuff, right? But anyways, we're gonna find a product, and then the other thing you can do is you can find a service. Okay, a service now. I like the service one, right? Because actually, wait, go back to the product for 2 seconds, because you see the product now. What you can do with the product, is that if you don't invent one, you can always find an existing product and make it better. Okay, you can make a really good one, right? Or you can sell spinners. Get a spinner, man. Sell some spinners. If you have a convenience store, sell some spinners. Honestly, I'm giving you something right here. I'm giving you some gold right here. Because, like, I don't have a convenience store, right? But if I did, I would sell spinners. I own businesses, I didn't get into the convenience store one yet, maybe I'll look into it. But if you own a convenience store or a dollar store, make sure you're selling spinners. I know most of you guys are already, but if you're not, get some spinners, because you're not really competing. You are, but you aren't, because it's a fad. You know what I mean? It's just a fad, right? And who knows? Maybe they'll stay around for a long time. Maybe they'll never go away. I don't know. But fads are usually something that they go up. People, it's like, oh man, you got to get a spinner. And then after a while, everyone has a spinner, and then it's not. But right now is the hot time. Get that money now. So all you convenience store dudes out there, make sure you get some spinners, man. Get some spinners. You know what I mean? Anyways. Those, fidget spinners. That's what I'm talking about. Fidget spinners. The kids like them, adults like them, everyone likes them, right? So anyways, what we want to get into now is we want to talk about something a little different right now. So we're going to go over to service, right? Let's talk about service, okay? So service now, service is a thing where it's not, I like service, I own some service businesses. You know what I mean? I like service. The reason why service works is because service is a thing where it's not like there's so many services out there, but guess what? You can always trump people's cards, man. You can always trump people's cards, man. Because what's going on in the business today is that they're not studying the customer service. They're disrespecting the customers. You know what I mean? Not all of them. The ones that survive, usually they know, and plus they're cleaning it. They're cleaning it up. They're cleaning it up. You know, they're cleaning it up. There's some big name guys out there. They're looking at it and be like, man, we got to make sure the customer service is up. You know, we got to make sure the customer service is up, because otherwise we're playing games. We're playing around. We're not respecting the audience that we're trying to serve, right? Now, the other part of the ball game is that you want to respect your employees too. So we can talk more about that. QLP shows you all about that stuff. You know what I mean? Anyways, so go back to service, right? So when we're talking about service, right? Service now, you can find a good service, right? Just come up with something. And at the same time, what I'm trying to say, you don't necessarily have to come up with something. Just follow a model, or like, you don't have to be a snake about it, right? You don't have to go into a company and be a snake, but you can go into a company and you could learn certain ways, you know, and befriend certain people. Maybe you get to befriend the boss. If you're lucky to befriend the owner, then you got to really value that. And if you get to befriend an owner, especially if he knows his stuff and you feel like he knows his stuff and he's genuine, I would actually try my best not to talk that much and listen. That's the first part of everything, eh? Remember we said repetition is the first law of learning? Okay, so mix that with, because repetition is the first law of learning, right? But mix that with staying astutely aware at what's going on around you, to the birds and the trees, right? We talk about nature, right? But also be astutely aware to even your mind, and just listen, just stop talking sometimes and just listen. All right, we'll talk soon.